Greetings, loyal minions. Welcome back to the Sci Show. Straight into the hero review for Hreidmarr, Hreidmarr, uh, SG. Make these names easier for me. It's the one thing I'm asking you. Gives me nightmares, seriously. We have a purple wizard, which gives mental blank, the Jinx talent. So chance to deal extra damage per active buff. We can see it there once it's fully maxed out with the master emblems. We have the counterattack alpha talent, ether talent, 60% of the damage for 6 turns. You know, that's neither here nor there. It's not one of my favourite ether talents, but it is slightly useful to deal a bit of damage back. We are from the Neveler realm, where we get the molten core. We've seen that with past heroes. It is quite handy with the core. We also have the empowered resist burn, so innate resistance against burn and gains 450 boosted health and 5% mana each time it's resisted. So fantastic to keep that in mind if you can specifically take it against heroes that burn. And we can see there the info on the molten core. When it's fully charged, it does 285 damage and lowers the target's defense by 10% each turn. So that's for 3 turns. So you're dealing around about 900 damage. You're lowering their defense. Very good. It is scaled based on how much that core is charged. So good to try and time that if it is at full damage. We see the power sticking at 1165. So I do like that. I have mentioned there's been talks recently with SG trying to stop the power creep. So it is a good sign. I'm reserving my judgment to see if it continues. But we have been there for probably a week now, which, to be honest, I don't keep track of exactly how much it goes up each week. It seems like nearly every hero that's released was going up by a couple of power, though. So nice to see it sticking true. There's some other exciting things going on in the land of content creation and SG. Can't say a great deal as yet, but you'll hopefully start seeing some of those benefits soon. Maybe a bit more promotion, a bit more support for content creators, possibly some sort of programs that people may end up getting some things out of. Anyway, we will keep that for when there's a bit more information. We will not get too sidetracked, as I tend to do. Good all-around stats, nice HP. We will jump straight into the special skill. Artwork, her right hand looks really freaky. The left hand actually... like man hands reminds me of a Seinfeld episode. Those hands are just freaking me out a little bit. The way she's cupping that, whatever it is, in her right hand, it's making me wince a little bit. I wouldn't want her to squeeze too tight. She's looking... I don't mind the artwork. I actually don't mind the artwork for a lot of these heroes. They've got the flame and frost sort of theme happening. Quite a few good heroes in here. You can notice here I do have an awful lot of tokens. However, I already have Dagger. I'm trying to behave a little bit with pools. Regen is nice, but I do have a lot of fast red hitters and red hitters in general. So I'm actually going to restrain. This is what I promote to people. Think about where you're spending your money and where you're using your coins. If Hreidmarr was really, really good, I might have done that. However, we'll just go through the card. I did have a quick glance. But I'm saving my pools for another portal where I may have a better range of heroes that will suit me. So keep that in mind. We have Dwarven King's Levy running at slow speed. We've seen an awful lot of slow speed heroes lately. I'm not sure if there's a trend or a reason for that. Whether they're specifically trying to market the Rush War type sort of scenario. Anyway, we're attacking all enemies with Firestorm Strike, dealing up to 2100 damage. Deals 40% more damage if the target is of the nature element. It's interesting how a lot of these, regardless of what colour they are, they're doing extra damage against nature. So it's something I did mention with, I like families where they do have a synergy. So this is great where you can take, different heroes of different colors, and they're actually all doing damage against nature. So that's fantastic. I like that. Because if you're pairing all these together and you're going against a team that has 2 or 3 nature enemies, or even thinking of like map stages, Treasure Quest as an example, if that boss is green, it's just giving you a lot more damage. So I like that. Keeping it, usually it would be against the weaker color. So it might say, against yellow, it does more damage. But I like the fact that even though they're all different colors, they are doing extra damage against nature. Right, big tick. Good stuff. I love it. That damage, 2100, you're probably going to be looking at maybe 1,000 to 1,200-ish once you've emblemed and all that sort of thing. So keep that in mind. Slow speed, hitting about 1,000 to all, extra if it's nature. The caster steals generated mana of all enemies over 4 turns, starting low and increasing every turn until on the last turn, all the generated mana is stolen. This effect can't be cleansed, but it gets removed if the caster is defeated. That's interesting. Can't be cleansed. I've seen heroes like that. Zenda is the first one that comes to mind. That I actually really like the mechanic because it means you can be very strategic with where you're hitting your tiles. On the first turn, you're stealing a little bit of mana. If you only need a little bit of mana, that's great. You can hit a few heroes and steal some mana. Generally, the first turn, you've just cast your special, so you're going to need a lot. But it's then when you get to that second or even third or fourth turn, you can really use that to your advantage, unleash a diamond or a big cascade, and you just get a crap load of money yourself. So I do like that. Instantly tells me it's going to be useful in Rush War. Put her at tank, she'll go off pretty quickly, do some damage, start stealing that mana. And yeah, you're just going to keep going off quite quickly. So because obviously your enemy's trying to charge themselves, so they're trying to get mana, in which case it's giving it to you. If they accidentally get a cascade, you're going to steal the crap. At the end of each turn, steals the latest dispellable buff from all enemies and distributes them randomly among allies for 4 turns. That's neither here nor there. It's great when you're using on offense and you can deliberately use it against someone. If it's on defense, most people are just going to try and hold off on putting those buffs, or you're not going to take heroes with really strong buffs. So it's a nice little added bonus on top of the strong special. So I think it's going to be great in Rush War. I know that's easy to say for slow heroes. In regards to normal war types or other things, it's definitely going to be useful in events and that sort of thing as well. Depending, again, Treasure Quest, if you're struggling with those sort of things, you're doing some damage, you're stealing that mana. Some of those bosses in Treasure Quest will have certain specific mana, sort of resistant to mana type things, but stealing mana generally works. Not sure if it will work. Yeah, it should work on all 4 turns. I'm just thinking on the last turn where it takes all of the mana, but that should be fine. It's not stopping the boss getting mana, so something that you may be able to use it for. But outside of Rush War, I like slow or very slow heroes to be almost game-changing. Depending on what sort of colour stack you take, this could do the damage. If you're taking average speed as well, you're going to hit with 2 or 3 average speed heroes before Hreidmarr comes in and sort of finishes it off. It's not an absolutely huge hit, but it is quite good for hit all. And yeah, that's a pretty solid hero. Again, I'm liking these heroes that don't have anything too crazy going on. They're easy to understand, so newer players aren't reading the cards and getting confused. It's pretty basic as to what it does, but it's a useful skill. And they're giving nice varied skills. So again, another thumbs up there. I really do like giving credit for what I think are good moves. So yeah, it may not be the absolute strongest hero at slow speed. Again, if you're using outside of Rush War, you're going to try and take heroes that can boost its mana. Being in purple, Hawthorne comes to mind. I just used him in Rush War to great effect. Sorry, not in Rush War. I just used him in my War Hits. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. Has some great strategy in there, helping you to win in multiple ways. But yeah, no, I like this hero. I do need to learn to wrap these videos up a little bit better. So I do apologize if I ramble a little bit. I just, yeah, like to kind of keep considering my thoughts as I'm going and share as much as I can. But very good hero. Again, thumbs up all around. I'm going to give this a, what sort of rating will I give it? I change my rating system every single time. So look, if you're playing around a golf, it's probably 1 under par. You've had a decent round, didn't shoot the lights out, but you're pretty bloody happy with it. It's going to be, 1 under par is a pretty good score, no matter where you go, no matter what you're doing. So 1 under par for Hreidmarr. If you're doing any pools, I wish you the best of luck. And I was going to say gently press the subscribe button, but I don't know, I'm feeling a bit frisky tonight, so maybe just, yeah, give it a bit of a flick maybe. Just flick that bloody subscribe button. Give your kitty a scritch for me, and have a good one.